All right. So, who just connected. Perfect. So there'll probably be a few more who will pop in. Great. Can you hear me well? Perfect. Thank you. So, welcome. So grateful and excited that you're here online. Here we go. My name is Arianna Montanari. For those of you who I'm meeting for the first time, welcome. I'm a little bit excited. This is like the first masterclass of the year. So I'm just gonna introduce myself. Here we go. Everything is all right. I'm gonna introduce myself and then we'll go right at it. I'll be talking for about half an hour and then we'll have a practice together. Very accessible, and you always make it as fun and as easy. Okay, let's use the word easy as you like. So by the end of this masterclass, you will click on the leave call button with hopefully a better understanding on why motivation sometimes goes up, sometimes goes down, but without feeling that blame that is sometimes associated to it. You will probably see your signals, so like pain or whatever, IBS, fatigue, stiffness, more as information and not flaws, and probably knowing what type of support you need next. In my experience, we all know these things. It's just about, being reminded, oh, yeah, right, I should be thinking about this, kind of bringing it attention there. So, briefly about my background so that you can better understand where I come from. I come from, well, the world of dance, but also swim. I have swam since I was little. I've been teaching swimming since I was 16. So, there has always been a lot of movement in my life. And I approached yoga when I moved into Stockholm in 2013. But my whole life, pain has been something that is just normal. And we will go through this over the upcoming minutes. So I was approaching yoga as I was approaching training, like pushing hard and maybe not listening so much about the signals so that my body was giving, which led to chronic pain. And if you have chronic pain or something that is bothering you, we all have that little thing in our body that is not perfect. It drains energy. It's something that it's always there, and it's borderline between you don't feel it and you feel it all the time. Draining energy, draining mental space, mental capacity. When I started practicing the synergy, it was first of all like I was super skeptical. What is this? But I also knew that there was something valuable, that there was something very curious. Here, there must be something good, something useful. And so it was. So it took me 6 to 9 months to really reprogram my body, like the gross motor skills, I would say, the big movements. But also one morning I woke up and realized, oh, my back pain is gone. I suffered from lower back pain since I was a teenager, so at least 15 years of that. And then one morning, poof, it was gone. Pain in my wrist, gone. Pain in my knee comes back sometimes, but I'm good at tracking, so I know more or less when. So it's not just the practice, and I know what to do in order to heal it, to help it to heal. So this is to tell you that I went from ignoring all my symptoms, all my signals, into starting to surrender and say, okay, I need to actually stop and listen and and learn what I can do, because sometimes we feel powerless. So let us dive into consistency. I think that most people connect to consistency with willpower, but it's not just that, it's more about communication. So, like a call and answer and building trust over time. It's not about working out every day, it's about learning to navigate yourself every day. Because we are busy, we are capable, we're probably wanted strength, but without that punishment. I have to exhaust myself so that I feel I have done enough and then I am worth resting. We're tired of guessing what could work. So the key idea for today is that your body is constantly communicating, expressing. And as I see it after so many years of working with body, mind, mine and others, is that the body is simply being, right? Being embodied is just, things are just flowing through. Sometimes we kind of get stuck a little bit in our minds, but our bodies are very clear as soon as we understand, we know what to look for and what to listen for. And it can be energy levels, pain, fatigue, reproductive health, hormonal cycles. They do not behave randomly. They follow a grammar, they follow a pattern, a cycle. And so since the theme is a little bit of a language, so body language, I am a language person. I graduated in foreign languages. So when you're learning a language, you have different areas that you study. You have the vocabulary, you have grammar, and then comes fluency. When it comes to the body, the vocabulary is something that we can really build on. So think about just all the sensations in your body. You can feel pressure, you can feel pulling, heat or cold, restriction or expansion, ease, extension, maybe tingling. But most times we just collapse into, oh, I feel good, oh, I feel bad. But what about all the nuances? Grammar is about timing, it's about repetition and context. So, for instance, a sensation after stress is different from a sensation they have after movement. So, when do you feel what you feel? When do you usually have a headache? When do you feel most inspired and creative in your practice or while exercising? So, we need to get good at tracking those and understanding the structure that regulates. And here I also want to point out that I often talk about discomfort and pain, but it's also worth to keep in mind high energy levels and happiness and vitality and longevity, because when we feel good, it's as if we were not feeling much. We just give the body for granted because it feels good, so you almost feel nothing. It's just when you actually feel pain or discomfort that you become aware of that body part, that area. Oh, what's going on here? So I think it's really about prevention, about working before we feel the pain. So working with body awareness, working with this literacy that we can actually prevent and learn our bodies. So third step is then fluency. Fluency means responding early, but not perfectly, right? When you're learning a language and you go to the supermarket and they ask you if you want a bag, and you're like, what did they say? Oh my God, okay, again, and then they ask you, and then you can actually answer because you understood it the second time. So that's the same thing. It's about being able to respond to a sentence spoken to us, a signal, an intention of communication, call and answer that I mentioned at the beginning, over and over again through repetition. This is how we learn. And to keep this language analogy, fluent people do not avoid symptoms, they catch them early. Think about IBS or chronic pain, back issues, irregular periods, or mood swings. We can often do something about those signals if we know what we are dealing with, if we know the context, so our body's functioning, if we know our grammar, the timing, and the nuances of vocabulary and body awareness. I often give example of a family member of mine. I'll keep anonymous, who suffers of hip pain and back pain. And when I ask, but what can you describe your pain? The answer is always, it hurts here. And so it's so vague. And when I ask to articulate, it's very, it hurts. I don't know, it hurts there. Or a friend of mine who has IBS and hypersensitive bowels. And so I just asked, since she cannot really get a good help here in Sweden, if she feels anxious sometimes. And she says, well, yeah, all the time, over whatever, even very small things. And so we need to see the big picture and what is triggering, what is the cause, what is the context. Anxiety can cause these. When does this happen? Oh, when I have a lot of things to do, which means I'm more stressed, which means my nervous system is in the fight or flight. Then I get, a poor digestion. So why consistency is so hard to keep up with sometimes? And the reasons are many, and they all are different from one person to the other. But thinking like this, practice, of course, when it comes to exercise, practice can be too intense or too complex, can be too boring, it can be too painful, that you're actually pushing yourself or being pushed too hard, and you have sore muscles the day after and you cannot move and you're like, never gonna do this again. You could get the silent message that rest is failure, so you have to push hard, and you don't like that. We generally as humans do not like effort so much. Let's be honest about it. So we work with intensity and softness, and in modern society, it can give more satisfaction to do 150 burpees and die in the process, and then perhaps super tired, rather than doing a more gentle exercise, maybe a synergy practice, and still have energy after that, not being sore the day after. But that gives, maybe I have not done enough. But consistency is the not necessarily repetition, is relationship. So we all want quick fixes for deep issues that maybe have been going on for many years. But it takes time to master a practice, to establish a habit, to planting a seed and seeing rooting and then sprouting. And just, we don't give up on a seed after a week just because we do not see anything green popping out of the soil. No, we keep watering, we keep tending this seed. And it's the same with exercise, with yoga, with any projects that you have ever taken on. It's about feeling safe enough and trusting that it is safe to show up for yourself time after time at your own conditions. So this is why I think we need to get back that ownership. And yes, maybe you go to a class where there is a teacher, an instructor, you go to a course. It doesn't have to be, just with physical practices. But you always take your own voice is first. Because repetition is almost like a mechanical process, while relationship is responsive. You can repeat something every day and still be disconnected, but at the same way, you can miss maybe a day of practice, a week of practice, and still be consistent in the relationship because it remains intact and steady. If you compare it to the relationship with your partner, your best friend, your mother, your family, your colleagues, a relationship needs listening, responding, in my opinion, having empathy, so being able to, understand, adjusting, and staying in contact even when things change. It's not easy. Okay, we know it's a challenge. Relationships are not easy. Language is not easy. Same thing. It takes time to practice. So when we frame consistency as repetition, we feel like we have failed the moment we miss one class, one practice, the moment we rest. But when we frame it as relationship, there is this no like right or wrong. There's room for repair. It's a work in progress. It's not about failing or succeeding. It's about, okay, how can we move from here? How can we go on? Sometimes we can quit because we do not see immediate results. Because repetition without feedback feels pointless. If we look for external signs or markers that say, how much weight can you lift, how flexible you are, what type of performance did you give, or like visible change. Oh, well, look, I have a new muscle. I've done that. I can tell. But that cannot be the only thing that decides if we have progressed or not, because the body changes internally first. It can be improved coordination, it can be that we become better movers. Um, we become more mobile. Some things become a little bit easier to make. So it's all these subtle shifts that we need to train the body to recognize. Otherwise, our nervous system will say, nah, this is all wasted energy. I don't have any muscles. I don't see any results. Let's give up. So we need to reprogram the nervous system and our consciousness to notice also the subtles. So framing consistency as relationship changes this. When you learn what to listen for, then change becomes visible and tangible earlier. It's also important to notice that high performance, probably like all of you in the room, probably most women in the world, we need to conquer it all and do it all and be good. We are excellent at adaptation. We do it all. And I think it's a little bit our strength, but also our blind spot, because, we think that discomfort is part of the game, that we need to suffer a little bit. It's okay. And that effort produces result, and that pushing through works basically in most areas of our life. So when the body communicates, we don't register that, oh, I'm a bit tired, oh, my back is a little bit stiff, as information. We register it as noise. And we just go past it. I have been there. When I started studying these things, I was like, of course. I was going deep into, biking into town every day, practicing Ashtanga, rocket yoga, and dance and Pilates, and being in pain everywhere. But I was not noticing. It was like a background noise. And still, I was very worried because, what am I going to do? I'm going to be in a wheelchair when I'm 40. So pain is usually the very last signals, or one of the last ones. And early signals, they're quiet, right? It's maybe a mild tension, a subtle fatigue, a little bit of, maybe digestive shifts, or small losses in coordination, when you just pick up something and you drop it. Or like I did the other day, you close your thumb in the door of the car because you're also doing something else at the same time. Well, things like this, these are signals that, hey, one thing at a time. So to a high performer, these signals feel irrelevant, right? They're not as intense as what we are doing. So over time, the signals become louder and louder. Our nervous system needs predictability before change, because change is not threatening per se, but unpredictability is. So the nervous system prioritizes safety over improvement. And safety is built through familiar patterns, accessible practices, consistent timing, right? And a clear cause and effect. And when a practice is, for instance, random, I do it once on Tuesday in the evening, and then on Friday in the morning, and then the week after other times, and then you skip for a month. Or when it's too intense or constantly changing, the system stays alert, you know? An alert system, they do not adapt, they defend. They're like, okay, we don't really know what's going on here, so let's just be cautious. And predictability, so when we build this regular, it doesn't mean every day, it's just like that regular. Predictability allows the nervous system to go in the rest and digest mode, allowing you to explore something new. And so this is why it's better to prioritize simple practices that does not require 2 hours, but maybe 15 minutes to start with. Repeating that, maybe going through that like slight boredom. Oh no, I'm doing the same thing. It is okay. That builds trust also with yourself, and predictability creates the conditions for change to land. It creates trust. Your body doesn't resist change, it resists confusion, and confusion triggers protection, which creates that resistance. That can be felt in like overthinking or tension or a freeze response. Like in December and November, I was very tired and like a little bit overwhelmed with life and darkness. And freeze response is my type of response. Like my brain is just blank. I cannot do anything. And so of all the 100 things that I have to do, I feel that I have to do 1 million, but then I do zero. So knowing then your patterns helps you to help yourself, really. So when someone says, my body doesn't like change, what's often true is that my body does not understand what's being asked of it, or it's too overwhelming, it's too much. I'm setting goals or standards that are too high for myself at the moment. They're not realistic. So clarity and simplicity really reduce the sense of threat that the nervous system braces for. I mean, we are constantly bombarded, right, with like news, with things happening, with our phones. So it's very challenging in these times to come back to ourselves and to find that motivation and that consistency. So this is why I think that nowadays we really have to go easy on ourselves, almost setting the bar too low according to what we think that we can deal with, to really give an easy start. And then when an easy start, then we can build on that. So to start wrapping it up, consistency is not about doing the same thing every day. It's about to stay in conversation with yourself long enough so that you can find that call and answer, responding. You feel a signal, you start responding over and over again. And that sometimes can take years. Sometimes when you start the work, you might feel that there is silence, or there's nothing here. I have no signals. I have no idea. But then you start noticing small things. And the more you train yourself to feel, the more you feel. The more you notice, and you're like, the nuances, right? So tracking all the signals, your cycles, the moon. We are moon beings. To track that, notice, and the connections are there. We just need to see them. We just need to notice them. Now, I don't want you to understand this only up here. I also want you to understand it in your body, the embodiment practice. For those of you who have never practiced the synergy, I really want you to feel what simplicity really is. So, like, easy there, like, what are we doing? Like, are we even exercising? So the practice will be flowy, will be slow. The goal is to share loving information within your body, not achievement or pressure to do more. There is no good or bad, correct range or shape or depth. If you feel warm, if you feel still relaxed and comfortable within yourself, without the heart racing, it means that you are in a parasympathetic state, which means that you are relaxed, which means that you are getting the benefits of a regenerative moment and movement, like when you're sleeping. Sure. And exercise at the same time. So in this way, we lower the performance pressure. And as I was discussing this morning with Simon, my teacher, because we recorded a podcast, we set ourselves up for success, right? We set ourselves up for a practice that feels good. And then when we finish, we're like, oh, wow, I did not suffer. I did not kill myself, and it still felt good. And so it's this quite deep and quite big paradigm shift that needs to happen, that we can work on. I'm gonna take a little break. If any of you have questions, you can type in the chat. I really spoke like I record myself a lot, right? So I noticed that I speak slow. I guess it's the teacher in me. Been working as a teacher for so many years, but today I felt I spoke fast, just because I wanted to make sure that we have enough time to also practice. Let's see if nobody has question that we can go on. Jicke, where are you that is so bright? Is it daytime?
No.
No? I
No,
cannot hear if you can type. Wow, it looks like it's super
evening.
bright there. Oh, I'm jealous.
Thank you.
All right, from a sun-deprived person, it is time to practice. So take a few moments to get ready, stand up, prepare a little bit of space around you. Lisa got a phone call. Here we go. So make the aim of the practice to really feel good, to just move a little bit for the day. If you feel warm, that's a good sign. It means that we're pumping blood around in the body. And so start connecting with your feet, and that means that you're pushing it a little bit extra in one foot and the other. Maybe you want to spread the toes so that you actually have a broader surface in which to almost like discharge all your weight, the weight of the body. And start gripping with the toes, bending your knees slightly, so they're not locked, but they're slightly bent. You decide the intensity, so slightly bent. The top of the hips wants to move backward. So you see this from arching. I want to do this. And at the same time, feel the sit bones dropping down. So almost if you had a weight pulling this lower back and sacroiliac area down. The lengthening is possible when we soften up the abdomen. So relax, stop pulling in the navel, and relax the pelvic floor. So that feeling of going to the bathroom, but not, just so letting go. And so you can roll your shoulders a few times. And when you roll your shoulders, start connecting with these bones here, your collarbones, with the shoulder blades, with the space in between your shoulder blades and with the center of your chest. And pause your shoulders. Move your neck as if you were drawing figure eights with your chin. Just to notice that the neck is free from tension and you can move it. Pause it and then soften up your face. You can relax the jaw. You can allow some space in between the upper teeth and lower teeth. Lips closed. Soften up the area around your eyes, your ears, the forehead. And then again, soften up the shoulders. So wiggle your fingers a few times. And fingers are active, so they're not completely relaxed, but they're also not over tense. They're active. This activeness is kind of always gently pulling blood towards our fingers and thinking about a body part. In this case, the fingers attracts blood to that area. So if you film yourself with a heat camera, you will see that if you think about your feet will start getting warmer. If you think about your fingers, your fingers will start getting warmer. And then bring your attention back to your feet. Grip with the toes, bend the knees, top of the hips back, lengthen. Relax pelvic floor, relax your abdomen, roll your shoulders, move your neck, soften up your face, wiggle your fingers. Maybe start lifting up all your toes and expand them. And lower your toes and lift them up a few times. Start connecting. Come up with your toes, expand them once again, lengthen them forward, and then gently press them into the mat. Close your eyes for a few moments. Bring the awareness back to your feet, the soles of the feet. And notice how much you can picture with your mind of your feet. You probably can feel very much the toes and the heels, but can you also perceive the sides, the inner side and the outside of your feet? Can you connect with your ankles? Can you feel your knees? Can you soften up your quadriceps, your thighs? Top of the hips back, and can you relax and soften up your glutes? The abdomen. Are you pulling in the navel or can you let go? Allowing the shoulders to melt down and out to the side. Wiggling your fingers. Moving the neck and softening up the face. Now notice where the breath is happening in your body. And usually as soon as we notice the breath, we also kind of change it. So try to stay in the observer position. And then see if you can first soften up the abdomen and then see if you can breathe in the area that is your core, that imaginary area in between your navel and the pubic bone, the so-called core. Can you soften it up and breathe there? If the abdomen is tense or you're not used to this natural breathing technique, you might run out of breath. And if that is the case, take a little break, breathe as you're used to, and then go back into practicing this. And the more you practice this, the more you might feel this expansion in the front, in the pelvic area, and also in the back, in the sacroiliac and lower back. Allow the breath to go through your legs all the way to your feet. Visualize that. A deep breath, a breath that moves away from the nose as much as possible. And then come back with a breath into your abdomen. Soften up the shoulders, the gaze, and open up your eyes. And see now if you can lift up on your toes and on your heels. We're going to a quick extract of the joint synergy. We're going to move our joints. And this is the most basic. Then with more advanced classes, then we can put and sew all these things together in a more fluid way. Land and take the inside and the outside of the feet. We work with feet and ankles, with knees, with hips. And come to center. See if you can go in on the toes, out on the heels, in, toes, out, and heels. And continue. Knees are slightly bent, belly soft, shoulders soft. Notice what the mind is doing, if it is trying to control, or if you can kind of relax in the movement and allow the body to follow. And if that is possible for you, then you could add the thumb rolls. Having attention on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A detailed movement. Attention to your wrists, your elbows, maybe your shoulders. Rolling. Allowing the chest to join the movement. Gazing at a fixed point, softening up the face. And from here, the movement can expand, can slow down, can soften up, whatever suits you. And the more you relax, the warmer you get. And allow the arms to pause. Go back to your feet and change direction of the circle. So we go inwards. We go in, heels, out, toes. Knees bent, soft abdomen, soft shoulders, soft face. And once you have the feet from the pinky, pinky rolls. Exactly. So try to move more the hands, the fingers. So from detail, we grow up. Wrists, then elbows, then shoulders, spine. Maybe upper spine and then connect with the middle, the lower, the hips. And slow down. Come back to center. And pause. Small circles with your knees. Now we see that we have created from one little detail movement that connects the whole body. All the joints are in synergy, creating the movement together. Change direction. See if you can go together. And then from the knees, more attention up to the hips. And again, it doesn't have to be gigantic. It can be also super small in the center. It's an explorative movement rather than a performative movement. Allow the spine to follow. Arms are soft. Change direction. And come to center. Come back to that position at the beginning with knees slightly bent, the top of the hips back and lengthening. Soft abdomen, soft shoulders. And with the soft shoulders, see if you can simply lift them up and push them down, but not forcing them down. Gently exploring your own range of movement. And then make the movement softer. Which means, so I've been thinking so often, how can I explain this? For me, it was like a big discovery when I realized that I could do movements and not tensing, but using rather the skeleton and not going all the way up, all the way down, just doing a little less. And now when the shoulders come up, see if you can have the hips going in the opposite direction. Shoulders up, hips down. So knees bent. Soft abdomen, lengthening the spine in two different directions. The more you soften up, the more you might feel here that we're actually pumping blood in the body. And transform these movements into circles with the shoulders. And mind that at the beginning, it's not so much about the arms, it's about the shoulders. Up, forward, down, and back, and then making it fluid. Allow the spine to be soft, the hips to roll, the knees to move. And then from there, see if you can move a little bit extra the upper back and the chest, expanding to the front, expanding and rounding to the back. Same thing with the middle back. Same thing with the lower back and lower abdomen. Think both front and back. The trunk has both directions. And now you could build up and bring back those thumb rolls. Kind of drawing in, rounding up pubic bone forward, expanding pubic bone forward, expanding belly, chest, throat, and rounding up again. And today in this short practice, I'm really trying to simplify things, but this practice can be extremely detailed. But for a first time with a group where we don't know each other, then you go ahead and, go deeper if you can. Otherwise, I'll try to simplify it. Allow the movement of the hands to expand. And again, it's wrists, it's elbows, it's shoulders. You can even start using your knees a little bit more. You could start lifting up the heels, playing it with balance at the same time. Our brain is multitasking, working on expanding the awareness. Down with the heels, smaller movement of the arms, and then still with knees bent to come forward with the left leg and continue the movement. It can be drawing circles, almost like painting circles with your hands, away from the body in the center, close to the body, up and away again, or thumb rolls. So whatever works for you. And bend the knees. It's weight forward, weight back. Weight on the front foot, weight on the back foot. Continue the movement of the trunk and the arms, but lift up the knee, the left knee. Are you still moving the shoulders? Is the abdomen relaxed? Is the face soft? Where in the body are you breathing? And pause. So we are standing on the right leg, left leg bent and up. Now, notice for yourself if you're here Or if you can move those hips back, lengthening, soft abdomen, soft shoulders, wiggling the fingers, softening up your face, gripping with the toes on the right foot. Straight leg at your height. Can be down here, can a little bit higher up. Up with the arms. Let's bring back some movement. And bend. And then from here, you stretch the leg in front of yourself and then behind you, going dynamically into a warrior three. And remember, it doesn't have to be this T-shaped, very sharp angles, very deep. It can be also smaller. Whatever is doable for you, as long as you feel warm. You could include more the bottom knee. You could include more the spinal rolls. Could include more the arms. We're thinking about lengthening the legs. So awareness. Where do you want to focus your attention? Last one. Behind you. And then come to standing on the right foot. Shoulders forward and up. Lift up, lengthen. Maybe lift up the heel. Come down, down with the arms, chin in. Roll down in slow motion so that you can feel more. Relax the glutes, relax the abdomen. Allow the shoulders to melt towards your ears. The neck to soften. The abdomen to expand on the breath out, breath in. Soften up on the breath out. Bend the knees so that you can access the lower back more intensively. Bend the knees deeper, pubic bone forward and roll up. And we do the other side. So we come forward with the right leg, bend both knees, top of the hips back, and the circles. These are the spinal waves, and it's a very basic movement that can be changed, twisted, and tweaked so much in all repetitions. You can do this movement or this movement with the thumb rolls. And in this, what we're searching for is connecting with our spine. So I want to expand the back of the trunk, expand the front of the trunk. Feel that I'm not just bending from the hips, I'm bending from every single vertebra, using that potential for movement that I have at a micro level, not just poof, this. Nothing is happening really. Continue the movement of the arms and trunk and lift up the right leg. Continue. And then pause. Right leg up. Top of the hips back. So I'm not here. I'm rounding up. Soft, soft. Wiggling the fingers. Expanding the throat a little bit. Sthiti Sukhasana is that strong but firm principle that we want to look for. It's strong, but I'm not over dancing. I'm kind of trying to relax and soften up. And from there, straight leg, straight arm. If you can, shoulders forward, and up. See if you can feel the lengthening from the middle back upwards. And then we go to the back and to the front at your own conditions. Don't feel the pressure to do any more than what you feel comfortable with. I think this practice really has taught me to enjoy more, to create a practice that I actually enjoy doing. And so if we go back to that feeling that we do not like resistance or effort so much, if I have a practice that I think is fun, that it's much easier to actually go back at it. Come back to the balanced position. And land. Standing on the left foot, shoulders forward and up, lengthen. Lift up the heel, down with both feet. Come down with your arms, chin in, and roll down. Bend your knees. Shoulders melting towards your ears. Soft neck. And breathe into your abdomen. Relax your jaw. Bend your knees deeper and roll up. And from there, we're going to go heels out, toes out, heels out, toes out, and then bend. Elephant pose, Gajastasana. So find a position that is doable for you. So doesn't necessarily have to be here like super big. Okay. If you're comfortable here, be content with this. So be satisfied. Know that it is enough. Now, think that you want to feel the weight on the outside of the foot. I don't want to collapse in. The knees are pushing back a little bit. Top of the hips back, lengthen. Relax the pelvic floor, relax the abdomen. One hand on top of each other, doesn't matter which one. Soften up the shoulders, move the neck. And then visualize as if you had a ball in between your hands. Sometimes you can even connect it to your core, your center of energy that is located here. Then you can feel like you're moving it from side to side, bending the knees, rounding the lower back, softening up the abdomen, and thinking that we don't want to lock the core. We want to move from it. So with time and repetition, we want to feel that the core is moving from side to side, and that means that the navel is gently pushing out to the front and to the side. Emily, who is in the class, has been practicing this last week, and it's like, oh, I feel it now. So give it a go. Relax, and then push the navel out to the side, and to the side, and to the side. And then you will notice that the twisting that we're doing is not coming from the shoulders. It's coming from lower down. It's coming from here. And this is why then it's not anymore just a linear movement. It becomes a circle. It becomes a figure eight. And from there, you could, for instance, expand the movement of the arms, working more side to side. You could come back to center and go a little bit faster. You could bend your knees to signal the body to fortify, to strengthen, your legs. And you could have both hands working together, painting lines or figure eights from side to side. Now again, the more you allow yourself to move together with the movement, the warmer you get. Come back to center, one arm at a time. Add more shoulders, not now from side to side, but rolling your shoulders backward. So we add the forward and back dimension. Bend the knees, top of the hips back. Relax the glutes. Relax the abdomen and start feeling that you are lengthening one side, lengthening the other side of the trunk. Hip is moving away from the shoulder and continue. Allow the joints to be free to move and expand rather than wanting to constrict movement. You can have straight arms, go faster. Feeling the twist at the level of your abdomen, slowing down. Having more attention on your elbows, like a martial art movement. And that requires more movement of the trunk. Bend the knees. Remember about your legs, about your feet. Look forward, soften up the face, and slow down. It's kind of we stop feeding the movement until we come to an end. Now place the hands close to each other but without touching. And just notice for yourself if you feel any warmth, heat, maybe a sensation of magnetic pull between your hands. Move one hand up, the other one down, vice versa. Hands close to each other. Let go. Let's just shake a little bit before we end the class. And so find again feet, knees slightly bent, top of the hips back, lengthening, relaxing abdomen and shoulders. And then starting the shaking from your knees, feeling the thighs all wobbly, the glutes all wobbly, the belly, the chest, the shoulders, even the face, your hair, even the fingers. So allow it to be a full body shaking. You can do small jumps if you like to, but still allow the shoulders to move up and down. Come back to the floor again with regular shaking. And then again, you stop feeding the movement, the shaking, until you come to a complete stop with your eyes closed. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Planting, grounding your feet. Soft knees, the top of the hips back. Connecting with the bottom of your spine, your tailbone. Connecting with the top of your spine at the base of the skull. Allowing the shoulders to drop down and expand out to the sides. Soften up your abdomen, your face. With your lips together, send kisses or pretend that you're chewing on something delicious. Or you're gently moving your fingers. Pausing your lips, pausing your fingers with your eyes closed. Draw circles with your eyes. the other direction. Open and close your eyes quickly a few times, as if you do when you had just woken up. Close your eyes again. Notice, observe your body. We have just connected to 6 places in the body that are dominated, that are controlled by conscious movement and unconscious movements. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the screen. Floor is open now. I want to hear if you felt warmer, if you ended up in overthinking. What type of thoughts were you thinking? Sometimes first time is high up in the brain and it's like, okay, no, body, move. So if you feel called to share, do so. Especially if it was the first time for you. You notice that it was a simple, repetitive spinal flow, a full body movement.
I did.
Nervous and
Nice
friendly.
and warm.
Yes. What did you say?
I felt nice and warm and relaxed.
Oh, of course, and now your dog knows.
So did he.
I know. They feel it. It's like, ooh.
Yes, now he's all relaxed too.
Mm.
Thank you. It was very interesting to hear in the beginning all of the about this energy and the effects that maybe we don't think about the pain before it's really pain. And then a nice kind of relaxing evening practice. It was
And short. You see, it was half
yes,
an hour.
and good for me to practice the stomach.
Miraculously, I stuck to the schedule. Amazing.
Good. Good job. No, actually, yeah, what you said at the beginning also really spoke to me highly. I'm also 28 and suffer from back chronic pain. So, and recently I had the thought that it's probably not normal to have this chronic pain at my age. And yeah, I thought
But
to
you're
myself,
not alone.
do something about it. Yeah. And I really love your class. I already really loved it when I was in Sweden and you gave it. And yeah, I wish I was closer. I would attend to your classes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was beautiful to have you and your mother.
Yeah, she's in the background. She doesn't want to be in the video.
It's okay. It's okay. As long as she can hear and see and look.
Yeah. She also has chronic pain, so it really spoke to her.
Ah,
Yeah.
see, I think this is beautiful to create a moment that can be accessible also for those who feel that usually, oh no, I cannot do that because it just hurts. And when it then hurts, like why am I to do something that just makes me feel ugh, worse.
Yeah.
So we practice awareness, we practice this not pushing, and it is really a default system. Okay, so it takes practice, also to stay present. And this kind of consistency is sometimes hard to build alone, especially when life is busy. So for those of you who practice with me to class, I'll see you every week. I have a YouTube channel that I should be better at promoting, but there are classes there that you can follow for free, and it's both like a little bit longer and shorter practices that can, I'm sure, be beneficial for your back or for whatever area of the body needs a little bit extra love and softness, because it's often mostly about posture and tension. And as soon as you understand what it is, like, there you go, that's the key, and then it unlocks everything. Otherwise, in end of February, I'm also starting an online course. It's already ongoing, but there will be a new cohort, so-called, online, where you basically have access to a whole bunch of online classes. So when you sign up, you get access to, now's the third round, so you get access to round 1 and 2, and it's 8 weeks, so 8 classes plus all the 8 classes. And so there is the group online, and then there is also one-to-one online for those of you, or for those who might need more, targeted help. Some of the people who are signed up for the Move from Within, so it's like the online course, they can never practice on Wednesdays, so they always do the replay. So that is also an option. So if this felt like relief rather than effort, that's not a coincidence. It's not an accident. It was meant to be that way, and I'm really grateful that you decided to take the time. I always appreciate this because I know how easy it is to skip, or to say no, or to scroll past, or to just not take the time because we have a million other things to do. So I feel it's important to acknowledge you for being here. If you have any other questions, shoot. Otherwise, I will.
I do.
Yes.
Will you be teaching synergy, like giving yoga teacher training or something with
Teacher training, not yet.
Mhm.
I keep learning as myself all the time, but right now it's more classes in studio and online programs. But the online programs have, say, the limitations of it's through a screen, but you get much more depth in terms of content and kind of a thread. Drop-in classes that can be like, it's like different people every week, so it's more difficult to build on that. But online, it's more structured. So there are, pros and cons on that. Plus, reflection sheets so that you can journal. So it's a whole little bubble.
All right, amazing.
Check
it out then.
Any other questions? Oh, Emily, you look so peaceful.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, anything from you?
No, I don't have anything to comment. I will see you in class on Thursday, and I will definitely think about the online thing as well.
Oh, yes, you're so welcome. You're so welcome, Emily. Yike, back to you. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, that's correct. Yike. Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you practice? Tell me.
I heard in your podcast, it was like I'm doing quantum touch, and I don't know how it happened, but then I get an email of Simon, his practice and his and now I was listening to podcast, and so now I was listening to your podcast, the latest, and I followed you on Instagram, and for me it's really a relief for my back because I did all the kind of yoga, and every time I came out of the class worse than I go. So when I did the little things of Simon, the little practices, I already felt, okay, this is a better way for me. So I just now looking around for what is this kind of yoga, and I'm looking for in Amsterdam, but I cannot find it to go to a class.
In Amsterdam, I know that there is a teacher who has also studied with Simon because one of her students came to my Synergy retreat in 2025.
Okay.
But she doesn't really teach Synergy.
Okay. Yeah.
So I
That's
think that
hard.
Simon's classes are more complexes. More like complex.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
This is maybe more digestible.
yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
this because I tried some YouTube video of him, but
Yeah.
after 5 minutes, I was because it was so fluently and fast, and say, okay, this is not a beginner level. This is
And that's what I'm saying, that there are so many details that you can put out there, but sometimes
yeah,
it just gets too much.
yeah,
So you kind
yeah,
of have
yeah,
to start, okay, fingers, toes, and knees, and
yeah,
that's maybe enough.
yeah,
Maybe, shoulders. So just like little by little, building up on that.
yeah, yeah. So I was looking
Beautiful.
on your page, but you if you want to sign up for your online classes only with a credit card, no? Also via
Uh,
Ideal.
you mean for the payment?
Yeah.
I think PayPal can also work. If it
Okay.
is something that you're interested in, then we can discuss it. You will all receive like an email with the link so that you can
Okay. Yeah.
read. I have just transitioned to a new website, as I said, so I'm also like, okay, payment, I know with card, and so let's see. But it can also be invoice, so it's for sure something a detail that we can
Yeah.
fix. Mm.
Okay. Well,
And
thank
I
you.
recorded a podcast with Simon just this morning, and it's out
Oh,
now.
really?
So yeah, I just
Good.
published it. So in and listen. We're gonna be
Nice.
recording like a series of 4 or 5 more that
Yeah.
will come out weekly. So a lot of juice coming out.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful humans. Thank you for your time. We went a little bit over time. So I'll let you go now. Respect for your time, probably dinner time. Thank you so much for being here. And let's keep in touch. I'm here. You have me. I have
Okay.
you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
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 Bye.